Hello, I'm Dr. Gloria Horsley.
And I'm her daughter, Dr. Heidi Horsley.
Heidi and I want to welcome you to Open to Hope Conversations, the podcast.
We believe that the greatest gift you can give yourself after a loss is hope, using this moment to connect with others who have not only survived but thrived.
So let's get started. Welcome to the Open to Hope Show. I'm your host, Dr. Gloria Horsley, with my daughter and co-host,
Dr. Heidi Horsley.
Well, Heidi, I'm super excited again because we will be tuning into ABC's Golden Bachelor and following along with widower Jerry Turner's senior dating journey. You know, we are experts in the field of grief and loss, and it's been exciting to see what happens when someone who's had a loss goes on to find hope again and love again and having this senior community. It's pretty amazing, isn't it?
It is, Mom. It's very exciting. And I am honored again to be interviewing you and Dr. Frank Powers, your fiance. Here are the dating doctors, Dr.
Hello,
Frank
Frank.
Powers and Dr. Gloria Horsley.
Frank and I looked at the show and thought about what people need as seniors, and we've come up with 4 tips that we think make for a winning date.
Absolutely.
Well, Frank, authenticity.
Yes, you need to be real. And that's one of the things that it seems like Gary responds to the most. And I think most people respond to is if you're authentic and you are yourself, it's so much easier to connect with. And if you're not, it's hard to connect.
Well, and it makes it hard for you because you can't relax if you're not authentic.
Absolutely.
So
I agree with the authenticity. And I think that is one of the most important things for Gary. And he's trying to kind of figure out which, people are authentic and which aren't. We saw that with Kathy, especially.
He makes it very clear, the ones that he feels close to. You can see his body language. He moves closer to those people that he talks about, that he feels in connection with. They're authentic. Because he feels, and I think he's right, he's pretty authentic. I mean, he's real.
He really is.
And, the way he connected with Ellen on this show, I mean, they come in together and she said, she talks about how I'm falling in love with you and it's so hard. And, she's been really willing to put it out there.
I think she says what most people feel, which is really nice. And I think that comes across as authentic.
Yeah. Our second tip is curiosity.
Yes. Curiosity is showing an interest in the other person. And if you show that interest, the other person feels like, wow, this person really cares about who I am and what I am.
I hear widows complain that they want to spend their whole time talking about their deceased wife, or with divorced people, there's a lot of anger.
Excuse the expression, but talk about something that's deadly.
It's not. And with divorce, there's sometimes a lot of anger or hurt.
One of the things that is a big turnoff, and we talk about it next in terms of being positive, is negativity is probably one of the things that end a good first connection and first dates, is that if the person comes across negative, whether it's about a divorced spouse or whether it's about other aspects of life, most people don't want to hear that. They want to feel positive, want to feel new energy. They want to feel excited. And negativity is a real downer. So Debbie Downer.
Yeah, stay positive. And the next one is be present. Be present in the relationship.
Eye contact, connected.
Have you seen Gary's present?
Oh my God. Yeah, his daughters kept telling him, don't kiss anyone. No, that's not him.
My God.
He's hugging and kissing almost every contestant.
He's connecting with a lot of women.
He is doing that.
And he's got all the tips you're talking about. He's authentic. He's very curious about everybody he's dating.
Yes.
And he's present.
Yeah.
Yes. And he really shows his presence because when he connects with someone, he leans in. When he's not connected with someone, he just kind of leans back. And his nonverbals tell you a lot about what's going on.
And so nonverbals when you're
watch your nonverbals, that is really important in the dating process. And if you sense that you're giving off negative vibrations, believe me, it's not going to necessarily be a good first.
Right.
Well, Dr. Frank, you said people do not like negativity, and you did too, Dr. Gloria. And we see that with Gary. He doesn't like the fact that Teresa and Kathy are fighting. He doesn't
No,
want that kind of
Kathy,
negativity going on.
I see it in the process. Yes, right.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah,
She went off into the hinterlands. So
and
yeah.
she was by far the most negative, and
Yeah.
she knew that, oh, I'm going down the wrong path, and that is true for most people. Try not to bring negativity in, because that is a real downer, and
Yeah.
and people just don't like it, and they don't respond to it. Positivity, being curious, really, in a sense, the authenticity, all of those things are going to really help your chances for a good first date.
And yeah, and again, being authentic, because wasn't it April that played like she hurt her ankle?
Oh my God!
And
Yes.
She faked
gotta watch
an
the pickleball.
injury to get attention, and what did it get her? It got her off the show.
Yeah.
Exactly. That was really annoying when she winked
Oh,
and admitted that I faked it. I wasn't really injured.
And
yeah.
then
I really hate to say this because she's a therapist, but she was the manipulative. Yeah,
well, Nancy really did hurt her ankle.
Yes,
but
she did.
they didn't show the rest of that playing pickleball.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that Nancy went off the show because she wasn't fun in pickleball. That was supposed to be one of his things, and she actually did hurt herself.
Yeah.
So-
Well, and I think that's where Ellen had an upper hand, because pickleball is a big part of Gary's life.
Yeah.
And Ellen is on a team and plays regularly.
Yeah. And that gives her a real head start in terms of getting into his heart.
She was in positivity.
Yes, and
You can be
she
positive.
is one of the most positive people on
Well,
the show.
and Dr. Frank, I've got to say this resonates with me because you are a pickleballer. You play, and Dr. Gloria, my mom, is learning, because this is an important part of your life, and so she's learning how to play
She is
pickleball.
getting better. She is getting better.
I've got to get some more lessons, so I have to get some more lessons.
Gary is a fun guy. You look at all the activities he gets involved in, and
Okay.
he's genuinely positive. I mean,
Dr. Frank, I would have been in trouble if I was single, which I'm not. I'm happily married. But if I was, you know how I feel about the ATV. I almost fell over in one one time that I rode it. I would not have wanted to do this with Gary. So I probably would have been out of the show immediately after that.
I don't know. You saw Leslie.
Well,
right?
you're much more of an intellectual, so you would like a guy who's really more intellectual.
But
and less on ATVs.
but Heidi, you could do what Leslie did. The big moment for them is when she was riding behind him with her arms around him, and she
helps too.
And she said, "I love it." She said, "You make me feel so safe."
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You big guy.
But Leslie was authentic because she talked to him about the fact that she'd been divorced a couple of times, and he wasn't the best picker of men. And rather than seeing that as, wow, she doesn't think I'm cool, he saw it as her being authentic and real and saying,
yeah, he related to that. And I saw him moving in closer to her when she was saying that, not further
when she was saying, "You make me feel happy and secure."
Wow.
Yes, and when she said she felt like she was getting really serious.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Susan, though, triggered him. I want to talk a little bit about triggers, because she did trigger him to talk about Tony and get sad about his wife. It was just because she kind of has a face, the same type of face as Tony, I noticed, and dark hair. So it's interesting.
He commented on
that. And he was able to be authentic and comment on that. It did bring that out in him, which was
certainly we know from psychology that familiarity, things that you've known in the past, if that person has some of those qualities, it makes you feel safer with them. What's familiar is safe. The next phase of this is when they start visiting the women's families, and he gets a chance to meet it. That's going to be an interesting dynamic, because certainly in our experience in dating, the family and the people that you love and connect, their friends and family, are really an important part of whether the relationship really melds into something more positive and something more long lasting.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
and Gary's daughters are very important to him, and family is very important to him. So
Mhm.
it sounds like what you're most looking forward to uh is seeing the families and seeing how Gary connects with the families.
Exactly. I think that will be a very important part in his final decision about whether he
Yeah.
finds someone that he wants to be
Yeah,
with.
and I'm excited because was my major field for many years was
Yes.
family therapy.
Well,
So it's going to be
we're
really
definitely
interesting.
family oriented.
Absolutely.
Right,
I
family?
I love it because when you date and connect and get engaged and married, you are marrying into a family. You're not just marrying the partner.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
it's really crucial that that chemistry is there and that comfort with the family is there. And so I think the next phase of this with 6 women left, now we're going to start getting serious about who's going to be the one that he is most connected to.
Absolutely.
And it'll be about family, mostly about family.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you, dating doctors, and we look forward to next week. We always say, if you've lost hope, please lean on ours until you find your own, and God bless.
I'm Dr. Heidi Horsley. You have been listening to Open to Hope, the podcast. You can follow Open to Hope on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. To learn more, visit us at opentohope.com and go to Apple Podcasts to subscribe.
I'm Dr. Gloria Horsley. Join us again next week for another Open to Hope conversation, where we invite you to lean on our hope until you find your own.